All right, circle stuff. That, when you take a ACT test for college, they have a lot of this kind of stuff in there. So, on a circle, there's a center of a circle. The definition of a circle is the set of points equidistant, I mean same distance, from one point. So if you measure out the same distance in all directions, it forms a whole bunch of points so close together it forms a circle. So, radius, I believe, or I hope everyone knows what a radius is.
Yeah.
Halfway across the circle. Okay.
Good job.
Right, a diameter then is all the way across. Now the diameter, the actual thing, well, it's the width of a circle. It has to go through the center. So CD is a diameter. And you, remember, for segments, you can put the line above it to show it's a segment. Or if you just put two letters, like for the radius, it's AB, that represents a segment also. So this is the one thing you don't need labels on, is a segment. Now, a chord, it's a segment that goes from edge to edge. Okay, so an example of a chord would be like this. It goes from one edge to another edge. So ED is a chord. Joe?
Is the diameter?
Yes. Good job, Joe. So the diameter is actually also a chord because it goes from edge to edge. Okay? All right. A secant is a line. So a line keeps going forever and ever each direction. That goes through two edges. And it does have to be two. So like, if I just extended this and made it a line, line ED, so again, since it's a line, you got to put the arrows above it to show that it's a line. Okay?
Yeah.
Now, in this picture, segment ED is a chord, line ED is a segment, or I mean a secant. Okay? Even though it's the same two letters, if you label them differently, they represent different things.
Yep.
Understand?
Yes, sir.
A tangent
Yes, sir.
touches the circle at one point.
Bless you.
Okay?
Yeah, because that works.
It does. It does actually.
Close it. Try to close it. Try to open your eyes when we sneeze.
Okay? So right here,
Exactly. Yeah. Yep.
if this line just touched right at C, just at one point, that's called a tangent.
Can you not be an idiot?
Yeah.
So, line CF is a tangent. Okay? Now, something that's going to come up later when we learn more about tangents is that a tangent and a radius are always perpendicular to each other. Don't need that for now, but eventually you will. So what's going to happen is you're going to draw a radius, a tangent, and then you're going to connect it. And what does that form?
A triangle.
What kind of triangle?
Right triangle. Right.
So you're going to use the stuff that we just got done doing in chapter 9, right triangle stuff.
Oh. Please no. Please.
Okay, so you need to know how to name a radius, a diameter, a chord, a secant, and a tangent. Okay. Tangent circles. Tangent line touches at one point, so tangent circles touch each other at one point. So if you have two circles and they touch at one point, they're considered tangent. Concentric is kind of the same thing as tangent, except they're inside each other. So you would have like that.
Oh, that's cool.
So they touch like right there. Concentric is inside. A common tangent. If you've got two circles, a common tangent means it's tangent to both circles. So it would be like this, touching there and there, and like that. So, what I drew right here is called tangent external tangents. External means outside, right?
Yeah.
Common internal tangents, you could probably figure out, would go like that. You touch there and there, and there and there, okay? So there's two different types you can draw. They can be internal tangents and external common tangents. Interior, exterior, I hope everyone knows that, right?
Yes.
Now, the point of tangency is just what it sounds like. It's the point that the tangent line touches the circle. So like in this picture, if they asked you for a point of tangency, what point is a point of tangency in here? C, right there. Okay? All right, so identifying. CG, is it a chord, a secant, a tangent, diameter, or radius? They want the best.
Is what?
CG is a radius. EG. It is a chord, but the best name is diameter because it goes through the middle. Now, if you look at here, this has a line, so it's line AD. That's a tangent. Okay? If they asked for a chord, this would be a chord. FH is a chord, but then if they put the line above it, that's a secant. Okay, so here's what I told you before. If you've got a radius that goes to a point of tangency, then they form a 90. So if you see this, you know it's 90. And then the opposite of that is if this is a 90, you know it's a tangent. Okay? So here they'll tell you it's a tangent, so you need to know it's a 90. Here they'll tell you it's a 90, so you need to know it's a tangent. Okay, if you've got two tangent lines, so that R is a point of tangency and so is T, and those lines intersect, this line and this line are going to be congruent to each other. Okay? So, we had a problem like this in the assignment. It's a fountain. You are standing 4 feet away. The distance from you to a point on the a point of tangency is 8. Now, since they say it's a point of tangency, you know that that makes a 90. So they're wondering, what is the radius of the circle? So, in order to solve this one, Pythagorean theorem, all right. Now, this is R, that's 8. What would you call this?
X.
R plus 4 or 4 plus R, right? We can't use X because then we'd have an X and an R in it. So the Pythagorean theorem says the leg squared plus the other leg squared equals
The legs.
the hypotenuse squared. Okay, hold on, I gotta take this. Nope, I don't.
What?
I thought it was a doctor, but it's just a telemarketer. Okay, now, this is a trick. I've shown you one like this before. I should put this up here and leave it up here for your one problem we gotta do like this.
You know, don't be scared. I don't want anything else breaking.
So we've got r squared plus 8 squared equals 4 plus r squared. So this just stays r squared. This is 64. Now this, the common mistake is people will go 16 plus r squared. But 4 plus r squared means we have to take 4 plus r times 4 plus r, right? Squared means you take it times itself twice.
Okay.
When you have this, it's like a distributive property. If it was just the 4 there, you'd have to distribute it through, right?
Yes.
It would be 4 times 4 is 16. 4 times r is 4r. So you do have to do that one, and then you got to also distribute this one. So then you do the next one. R times 4 is 4r. R times r is r squared.
Oh, yeah.
Now what happens is these are like terms, right?
AR.
That's 8r. So this turns into 16 plus 8r plus r squared. So, you want to get like terms together.
R squared, R squared.
Right. If I move this one over here, what do you do to get rid of it?
Subtract.
You subtract, and they cancel.
So 64.
The only ones we're going to do is when they cancel. If they don't cancel, you got to do the quadratic formula like we did last year in 9th grade.
Oh, I remember that. Have you watched that big old long video on it?
Negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac.
Let's watch more.
Let's do it on 10 times.
They have a name.
Ask Solomon right
This
now.
is what my
So,
name means.
like I said,
Businessman and.
these are the whatever the squareds are, they're going to cancel each other out. So you're going to have an easy one to solve. So to get the r by itself, I have to subtract 16, and you get 48 equals 8r. Divide by 8, and you get 6 equals the radius. So the radius of that problem is 6. Okay. Now, like I said, there's only one like this, if I remember right. Here, we also have an x squared, but it's not a hard one to solve. Remember, since this is a tangent, and this is a tangent, they're equal to each other, right? This equals that. So in order to solve it, x squared plus 24 has to equal 49. So to solve it,
Subtract 24.
okay, 24, you get x squared equals 25, square rooted, and x is 5. Technically, x could be a negative 5, but since this is distance, we don't really deal with the negatives. So we don't have to worry about putting plus or minus 5. Okay? Here is a longer one. So, again, since these are both tangents, they're equal. 4x plus 27 equals 5x squared plus 4x minus 18. We got to get like terms together. If I move this 4x over to this 4x, what's going to happen? They'll cancel.
Subtract 18.
So then get this 18 out of here. So you add 18, add 18, and that is 45. equals 5x squared. Divide by 5. 9 equals x squared. So it's 3, right? Square root it, 3 equals x.
Too easy.
Too easy, yep.